Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be chronic pain is learned pain. I'll get to that in a minute. But as always, we're going to do a couple of nice relaxing breaths. Breathe in the confidence. Exhale the doubt and skepticism. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise and the static. Breathe in the knowledge. Exhale the uncertainty. And so, chronic pain is learned pain. And I'll share what I mean by that. Basically, we will have an initial bout of pain, whether it be from a true injury or from an onset of TMS, either gradual or an acute one where it just comes out of nowhere, right? And sometimes an acute onset of TMS can feel like an injury, right? I bent over, oh, I pulled my back out, oh, I threw my back out, injured, I injured it. And then 3 years later, you're still talking about an injury that for some reason never healed, right? That doesn't make sense. I'm getting up to move because I got some sunlight in my face. So I'm gonna get into the shade here. So, chronic pain is really just learned pain. When we have the initial bout of pain, we will get medicalized. We will go to doctors and go for treatments, and they don't work. Or they most often don't work. And then we go see more specialists and more doctors and more treatments, and whether it be chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, physical therapy, injections, other invasive treatments, sometimes even surgeries, and none of it works. And then we have doctors tell us, I don't know what's going on, that should have worked, or maybe just you're gonna have to get used to it. And we hear all these horrible things from the doctors and these pain specialists, and we become medicalized, and that really adds to the fear about these chronic pain or other chronic symptoms. It doesn't have to be pain. It could be gastrointestinal, could be allergies, could be immune system stuff, could be whatever. But we have the initial onset of symptoms or pains, and the medical process completely fails us, and we end up in a state where the fear has not been calmed down, but it's been elevated through the lack of success with doctors. Doctors are supposed to know how to fix us and help us, right? But when they don't, we become even more afraid. So I believe that fear, focus on the symptoms, and anxiety about the symptoms and what it means for our future is literally what teaches these pains and or symptoms to go from original to learned, or as everybody calls it, chronic pain. Chronic symptoms are when they just aren't going away. And so my core belief is that if we can learn to have symptoms stick around, we can teach the nervous system, the central nervous system, the pain response system, if we can teach it through fear, focus, and anxiety to turn on and stay on, we can also teach it to turn it off and let go. And so that's the thing. A lot of people, I hear people saying, I can't believe my brain is so powerful to create all of these symptoms. My brain is broken. This is awful. Again, if your brain is powerful enough to create these symptoms to protect you from something it believes is dangerous, it's powerful enough to turn it off, right? And if it turned it on like that, it can, and often does, turn it off like that. The key is teaching your brain that you're safe. The key is teaching your brain that none of this stuff warrants protection with something like pain or other symptoms, right? And sometimes it takes a little while. We can learn something in one instance. I think they call it one instance learning. You can get the crap scared out of you and immediately, just like that, decide that something is dangerous, right? But in order to teach yourself that it's not really dangerous, sometimes that takes some repetition. Why? Because the default of the brain is to keep you safe. And it will learn something is dangerous very quickly because its job is to keep you safe and be on high alert for things that are dangerous. But as you say, well, no, let's correct that brain. That's not really dangerous. It's going to go, I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. You're going to have to convince me because that was pretty freaky, and that pain was really bad, or those symptoms were pretty awful. So I'm not really sure. And so it starts and it stops and it starts and it stops, and sometimes it can take a little bit of time to convince the brain that, yeah, that pain or those symptoms aren't needed to keep me safe, so we can let it go. And chronic pain is learned pain. And unfortunately, just the way it works, because the default is to protect us, it can learn danger really fast, single instance. But it's got to learn safety with consistency and reassuring from yourself. So if you're going from freaking out one day to, well, I tried to reassure myself the next day and that didn't work, so that's stupid, Dan, that's not going to work. Remember, the default is to protect you. And it's kind of like the bully at school who punches you in the face. You're going to learn quickly that bully's dangerous. And then the next day he comes up and goes, hey man, I didn't really mean that. Don't worry about it, I won't hit you again. And then you're like, yeah, I don't know, stay away. And he's like, no, really, come on, let's hang out again. You're like, I don't know. And it's going to take consistency for you to trust that person again. Now, I'm not suggesting TMS is a bully. I'm suggesting that the brain learns danger quickly, and it learns safety a little bit slower because it's going to be cautious to keep you safe. So don't be surprised when it takes a little work, takes a little consistency, and if you're vacillating between freak out and reassuring yourself that, no, it's just TMS, I think I'm going to be okay, understand that it's going to believe the freak out faster, because that helps its default of keeping you safe. It's going to believe the freak out faster than it will believe you trying for an hour to reassure yourself that you're okay. It's going to go, yeah, no, you were freaking out about it yesterday, or an hour ago, so I'm not sure I believe you right now. That's why a daily practice of feeling your emotions so you can teach your brain that emotions are actually safe, and then a daily practice of soothing. Soothe your body, breathing. I'm safe, right? Forced relaxation, let your body relax. And then soothing your mind and your thinking, calming your thinking down. Really, really important. And over time, your brain will get the hint that, yeah, I can trust you, right? So, learned pain, it can be unlearned. It just takes a little bit longer to do that than it does to learn something's dangerous. But please do not give up hope. I just want to kind of encourage you to stay consistent on the reassuring yourself, on the soothing your fears, on calming down. Turn that dial of fear down. If you wake up fearful tomorrow, turn it down again. It's all right, I got this, brain. All right, I'm safe. You're going to have to constantly turn down the fear. Every time you find yourself slipping back into that fear-based mode, the worry mode, got to reach in and go, where's that fear dial? I'm going to crank it down. So, learned pain. Chronic pain is learned pain. I think the two of those are synonymous. And we can learn pain from a true injury or a surgery or some procedure. And again, it's fear, focus, and anxiety. One of the examples is a lady that I spoke to maybe a month ago. She had surgery a couple of years ago, and she was convinced that the doctors screwed it up. She wasn't sure she should get the surgery anyway. She kind of resisted, but kind of got pushed into it by the doctor and from her family. So she got the surgery. She regretted it instantly because the recovery from the surgery was tough. And she believed sincerely that that was a mistake. I shouldn't have had that done. It's not going to heal right. And sure enough, she taught her nervous system to keep those pain signals going. Now look, the doctors have done the scans. They've said, look, the surgery went perfectly. There's no reason for the pain to still be there. But she taught her nervous system to keep the pain turned on, because she taught her nervous system that there is still danger there, because she taught herself that they botched the surgery and now she's got a permanently damaged knee, in which case the brain is always going to default to pain so she doesn't overuse the knee or hurt it again, right? So the perception that the knee is broken is way more strong than the actual reality that the knee is perfectly fine. So even through a legitimate physical tissue change like surgery, even though it healed long ago, a couple of years ago, she taught the nervous system that it was still dangerous, it was still broken, and the pain is going to continue. So what I've reiterated with that lady was, if the brain can learn to keep it going, you can teach the brain. It was incorrect. It's going to take some consistency and some time, but you can teach the brain that the knee's actually fine, the surgery healed long ago, and you're going to be okay. And so, if you had a surgery recently, sometimes people are like, well, how should I think about that so I don't cause a problem? Trust your body. If you cut your hand, do you have to think about healing? Do you have to work on healing? Do you have to do anything proactive to heal? No. Little Neosporin, a Band-Aid, and what happens? Over a few days, the cut heals itself. Same thing. If you've had a surgery or a procedure, trust. I went to a great doctor. He did it just right. I'm going to let my body heal. I'm not going to worry about it. That's the best way to make sure you don't take an original discomfort from surgery and turn it into chronic pain or learned pain, because you're not focusing on and fearing and having anxiety about it not healing right, so you're not going to teach the nervous system to keep the pain going. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Comment below. Let me know if you have experienced anything like this, what your thoughts are. If you have anything to add to the discussion or a question, comment below. And yeah, I guess that's it for this one. Love you guys and gals, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.